Had to add. There's that. It didn't work. It worked. You gotta come up with new creative ways to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I feel like I'm sitting low. Oh,
Little Harry Potter intro this week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I should have done that.
Yeah.
Oh, good to have you on, man. But
What's going on with you, man?
you're missing somebody.
Yeah.
You get suspended again?
Maybe by the end tonight. Maybe.
Yeah. What do you think the over-under is for that?
Yeah. From the sounds of it, we know where the safe money is at. From the sounds of it.
Yeah, I did see his update. So for everyone, thank you guys for joining us. Of course, my buddy over here, but we are missing one, and that's because he is actually taking the night off. He's having some fun tonight, enjoying life. So shout out to MC. Hope you're doing well, and I hope your night ends well as well.
Yeah, happy anniversary, right? Tonight is the anniversary, right?
Yeah, happy anniversary. Yeah.
Happy anniversary, MC.
Yeah, so it'll just be the two-man weave tonight. Hope everyone's okay with that. If not, sorry. So ready to start? I think we should start. Yeah, just to see how the clock goes, to see, because he's not here. See how long we go. If it is 2 hours, you cut one person off, maybe hour 30, hour 45. Maybe.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
All right, so
let's get this over 3 hours tonight.
I would laugh if it did. He's like, I'm the problem. All right, so here we go. All right, so I was supposed to do something for this because it's the show. So you ready? Here we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Paige, and welcome to episode 122 of the Hangout, where we give you positive insight into the world of collecting in a very chilled and relaxed atmosphere. It's supposed to go because, guess what? We're doing self-care and self-control. That was the self-care part. Meditating, relaxing, making sure everything's good in your life, like MC's doing tonight, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
that might be the easier of the two.
Yeah, probably. I would think so. Because I guess we'll get into it a little bit later, but yeah. It's a very razor thin line between treat yourself and put that shit down. Yeah. So tonight is properly titled self-care versus self-control. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Yeah. But first, let's do a little bit of a warm-up. Some warm-up talk. How about that?
Foreplay?
I was going to call that, but we were still in the gray area. I didn't want to, I didn't want to get too much. Let's see here. I spent about 10 seconds doing the thumbnail today, and it shows. I was like, I gotta hurry up. I don't have time for this. There it is. So, yep. Interesting little thing. Yeah. Grub is a drinker. Hardcore drinker.
Who'd have thunk it, right?
Yeah, he's knocking him back. I was like, geez, it's like Sambuki. He's knocking him back. So warm up. Here we go. Mama said, knock you out. All right. So, Cece, are you a boxing fan, or is anybody in the chat boxing fans?
Yeah. I would say I'm. What would you call it? A casual boxing fan. You know what I mean? Like I probably couldn't tell you any of the current boxers, but I was far more into it back in the golden age, if you will.
Oh yeah, I was too, man. I used to love it. That's when boxing was boxing. So I guess I should rephrase this and say, have you been keeping up with the Jake Paul boxing adventures? And if so, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this?
And every time he knocks out another professional athlete, man, it's just like, is somebody gonna get this guy? Like I just can't believe that, you know, this guy gets in the ring, and I mean, at this point, he has had some training, and I guess he is fighting guys that are a little long in the tooth. But man, I don't know. I didn't think there's any way he was going to beat Tyrone Woodley. I didn't think there's any way.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. I had these questions for people too. So, who would you like to see him fight next? Because really quick before we get into that, every time he comes on, I keep thinking he's going to get knocked out. He doesn't.
Yeah.
And even though they're not boxers, they're like MMA fighters and stuff like that, or, you know, like people that athletes, but they're not like a boxing. I think his record against the actual boxer, he's like 0-1.
Yeah.
Which is funny because they don't ever count that. Was it not sanctioned? I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I keep thinking he's going to get knocked out, and he keeps going round for round. But then the conspiracy stuff starts coming in, because I heard that Diaz got paid close to $20 million, which is his, I think, double what he made his entire MMA career.
Yeah. The guy's a cash cow right now, man. It's unbelievable the money that people are paying to see these fights.
Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking, it's like, are you really taking? He didn't really take a dive. I mean, he knocked him down once, right? But these guys, like some of them, not like Nate Robinson. Did he knock Nate Robinson out?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, or maybe I don't know if it was him. I can't remember, but he knocked some dude out. And I'm like, oof. But just going the distance and then getting a big paycheck, I was like, wow. So I was like, who would you want to see him fight? Like fight. I want to see him, a boxer. Do you have somebody? Or even a celebrity? Who would you want to see him fight?
A celebrity? I'd like to see Jake Paul fight. That I think to beat him, because I'm tired of seeing this guy win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why this come to mind. The guy's probably much, much bigger than Jake Paul, but Rampage Jackson, I don't think would flop for anybody. So I like to. I just want to see him get in the ring with somebody that is sure enough, you know, going to be in it to win it.
Yeah. I would even take a fighter that maybe is retired. I know it's not going to happen, but you know, someone like De La Hoya or something, or Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah. Somebody that maybe recently retired but still got some left.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think it's cool in a way. I think it like stains the sport a little bit. I understand like how some purists would think it. I mean, but I think like the best advantage he has right now is momentum, because he's on this streak or whatever it is, and then his lack of professional experience. So it goes both ways. Like you can get in there and you can get these high profile fights, but if you lose, you can say, oh man, I don't, you know, these are professional boxers, been doing all their life. He just knocked me out, and it sets it up for a rematch, but nobody looks at it wrong. And then it's like a Rocky Balboa moment. Can you imagine that? He gets knocked down by, let's just say, Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
He gets knocked out, and then he comes back and he trains back hard, and they do a rematch.
Yeah.
You're gonna make money in it, and then also it adds credibility depending on how you did.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I want to see him fight somebody like legit.
You know what's kind of crazy is that it kind of shows you where the sport of boxing is at, when like he's become like, even though he's not a quote unquote boxer, he's become like the biggest name in boxing. It's kind of crazy right now, you know.
Yeah.
It's bananas.
Yeah, bigger than, I mean, I was sitting here trying to think, like that was part of it, saying who would he fight? I can only name guys right now currently that I remember watching before, you know, like Mayweather, or and some of those guys are out of his weight class. I saw somebody say something about, oh, he should fight Mike Tyson, and oh my God, that he would destroy that guy, like one punch. I've seen him doing his post, you know, his workouts where he was trying to lose weight and he's in better health now. I was like, I would not want to get hit by him at all. He's still fast.
Mike Tyson is a freak. Just physically, I wouldn't want no part of that guy. And he's not wrap tight, so it's just not. That's not something you want just getting turned loose.
Oh, this is a good
No way. No way.
Adrian Brody. That's a good one. Yeah. Butterbean in his prime. That would be funny. If you went like all the way back and you're just talking about like boxers like throughout history,
Yeah.
I'd love to see him like fight like someone like Sugar Ray Leonard or
Yeah.
or Marvelous.
Roy Jones.
He would get knocked out in the first round, man.
Yeah.
That dude was a beast, man. I've seen some of his fights, and it was just he was playing with guys.
Yeah.
Or Marvelous Marvin Hagler. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Hagler would just go toe to toe with him and just keep knocking him out. This is because boxing can choose to get in MMA because the boxing industry doesn't have the options it used to when it was higher appreciated sport. Yeah, that and the money. I can just see. Oh yes, this would be a good one. I know this guy's name. But yeah, it's. I mean, if you're making like quadruple what you made in your whole career, I can see why. Why guys would want to do it. Canelo. Yeah. I've heard that name plenty of times. This is a good one too. This is like a featherweight Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
And just a little bit of warm up, just get us started, But yeah, a lot of respect for him, man, because he's making it work, making money. So, our next one, Domo Arigato, Mr. McFarlane.
I wonder if McGregor would ever fight him.
That'd be interesting. Is he primarily a boxer though? Like I know his style is more like grappling, but can McGregor really box? He did go against Floyd.
He did.
That would be interesting.
I'll tell you what, it would make for a great pre-fight. Conor McGregor and Jake Paul, they're kind of very similar in their, the bravado and swagger, if you will.
I wonder if he'd get in his head. McGregor, man, he was getting into Floyd's head.
Yeah, that guy's something.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah. All right. So news and notes again. Come on, I got to Mr. McFarlane. So McFarlane, they released their summer showcase, and it was a brand new car. Just kidding. It's a little tagline to go for the end of what CC will put at the end of the video. But he had his summer showcase, and then he had Batman 66, Robin, and then he did have a new car. Look at that.
Yeah.
Batmobile 1966. He also had the Joker. I'm not familiar with this version. Superman. This was a new one for me. It's like Lord Deathman. I don't
It's
recall.
Scareglow, isn't it? It's from He-Man. No, I don't think it's.
I know. This was like, what is that?
Right.
And this one was interesting. I like this one. This is Robot Batman.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I saw these and immediately I was just thinking to myself, I go, yeah. So I know we're off and on with McFarlane, but if you had to choose one of these to buy, which one would you buy? I got to make this segment interesting.
I only get one?
Yeah, if you want 2 or 3, yeah. I didn't think you were going to go for 2 or 3. I thought maybe it was pushing it just to do
7.
one. Yeah.
Can we scroll back through them? Let's see. Out of the 7, you got the Batman robot.
You got Robot Batman. You have Lord Deathman, Superman, Joker, Batmobile, Robin, Batman.
I like the car.
Yeah, I do too. That's what I picked. I liked how this guy said, "Why is the bat symbol on the wheels not red?" It's like, wow, man, he got right on it too. It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth, but so yeah, that was McFarlane. But
for me, it would be just the car.
Yeah, I like the car. I do like this too. This is kind of. I mean, it was like it's just something unique.
Yeah.
Maybe having the background or something like that. Just but the car looks really good. I think they put it out before, but I don't know how. I don't think it was large enough to take the 6-inch figures, right? So maybe this will be. Right. But now, Mack Truck, the Mack Truck of money, doesn't really like to know that you're too displeased with this offering. So he and I were talking on the phone, and we were discussing some things. He said, "You know what? Let me take care of CC." And boom! Breaking
Well,
news:
well,
sports picks have returned. So
well.
I know. I thought this would pique your interest. That's why I
I
put the
didn't know
segment in.
that.
That's why I put the segment in. So he's doing. So you remember these, like the sports picks, the McFarlane sports stuff.
Yeah.
So they're starting off with NHL right now. We're supposed to be looking out for that because all that stuff is going to be back. There's 2 confirmed lines right now. There's NHL and there's for UCC, NFL.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these are bigger than the other ones, right?
That's looks like the vintage one he's holding in his hand there. The old Jerry Rice 12-inch.
Yeah, I saw this and I go, I don't remember them being that big, but I guess maybe this is a larger scale format, so he can actually like put more details in it. But they
Yeah,
got
they
this
had
deal.
2. They did I think the other ones were they 6 or 7-inch was the normal ones, if you will, and then they had the large 12-inch, which was a much more limited run. They only did certain figures in 12-inch.
Okay,
It was
maybe they're doing that.
I've got a Walter Payton downstairs right now still that he did in the 12-inch.
Oh, nice. In 12? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've only seen the smaller ones, the basketball ones. I was
Yeah.
actually looking. But yep, he's doing that. So I figured since starting lineup's probably not going to take off, you'd probably be interested in that. That was one.
Yeah. Did Hasbro cancel the NFL starting lineup?
I don't know, and I'm wondering if they're even going to continue with the NBA because I saw they had them on display, but they only had 4 of them. So I don't know. I don't know if
Yeah.
that line is going to go anywhere, or if they're going to do starting lineup for
And nothing at all
football.
new announced at SDCC, so that's probably not a good sign.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's got to be expensive because, like, I was wondering about licensing the process
All
for
that
sports.
licensing, yeah.
Yeah, because you're paying for like you got to pay for the league license, right? And then the players union, and then team
Yeah.
specific player likeness. I mean, or are you paying all the above? Is it blanket? It's got to be like a hefty fee to try to like do so. Let's see, Steve said, "Where's the video from McFarlane talking about NFL so I can look it up later?" I think I got it from his McFarlane Toys. That's where I found this information. So maybe he has that on there. I don't, or maybe not. I just got it from there. So hopefully that helps Steve. It's stopping lineup now. It's like stopping. Yeah, man, that's sad, man. Because I mean, they could have really done some stuff with that line, man. I'm really, I mean, hell, I created a group for that shit.
What do you think could have saved that NBA starting lineup line? Is there anything you think they could have changed that would have potentially given it more success?
I think the price point was a huge thing with people, and then I saw something about the same thing with Todd McFarlane. I was reading something about how he's trying to do it too. It's like NFT stuff, and I'm like, I was thinking to myself, well, if starting lineup did it and it didn't take off, it's kind of like a dead trend, really.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but I think the NFT thing kind of put people kind of on the back burner with that too. I think the price point was probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So if you would have probably, I mean, they cut that thing down like a lot of money and people still weren't buying it. I
Yeah.
think they cut it in half during All-Star weekend.
Yeah. I think even now, you can still pick them up for $29.99, I think, and they're still not really selling.
Yeah, so I think if they would have maybe put a little bit more into it, the deep, because G.I. Joe, you look at some of their stuff, they put tattoos on there, but I don't,
Mhm.
maybe it's just too intricate to put all the tattoos that NBA players have on there. But if you would have maybe done something like that and then lowered the price point, that might help. What do you think?
I think they should have started out with the legends instead of the modern.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah.
I think if they'd have given you, Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, some of the greats that people just couldn't say no to.
Right.
I think that would have been the way to kind of suck people in, I think, in my opinion. Because, it's kind of difficult in today's modern NBA to just, what was it? Was it 6 figures, 7 in this first wave? So you figure they only chose 6 figures out of the entire modern NBA. And I think that's hard to do when most fans kind of have like their team, so they would want to see a player off of their team.
Yeah.
But I think when you start going back to like players that aren't playing any longer, they appeal to more. Because not all are just about just their team. I don't know if there's an NBA fan out there that would have just said no to a Jordan figure or a Magic Johnson figure. Some of those, all-time greats would have appealed to more broadly, I think.
It would have probably fit within what you were saying or what we were talking about with the tattoo stuff, too. You don't really have to worry about a lot of it, besides Iverson. If you would have did Michael, you don't have to worry about putting tattoos on them.
Right.
You're just worrying about the hefty license. But, you could have started with some of the other ones like Pippen or Ewing and Clyde or something like that. Just, hell, even Bird or Magic, like you just said, it just, they could have saved on money with their tattoos, maybe gotten a boost of income and said, okay, now we need to go a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Though Hasbro doesn't really do it soft goods. Yeah, I think that's, I know a lot of companies or a lot of people want soft goods and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, man, it's a very hard process to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like big companies like Hasbro, they have a lot of money and resources. They would be putting, more soft goods on their figures. They don't really do it with capes and stuff. It's barely there. So, but I do think, like you said, soft goods would have definitely, that would have really sent it over. But would the price point would have kicked up? Soft good uniforms. Yeah.
For $60, you'd have almost expected soft goods, though. Because to me, it was kind of an all plastic figure at a soft goods price. That was $60 is pretty high.
The thing is, you would have probably sold those figures alone on the fact of the soft goods, because everybody would have been taking the jerseys and the shorts off, and you would have been putting them on different figures and stuff like that. So just that alone could have done really well for them. Would you have paid $60 if they had soft good uniforms, like official NBA jersey? Yeah, I would have too.
Absolutely.
Imagine a Jordan jersey. I know Malfex has one, but imagine getting like a Jordan or something else.
Yeah.
Vapor would have his own like jersey closet. Just have a bunch of different. Let's see what else we got. All right. So, Uncanny exclusive. Man. So Mezco, not Mezco actually, Big Bad Toy Store on Monday, they sent out notifications that they'd be carrying the Uncanny X-Men Wolverine figure, which was one of the figures that they were selling at MezcoCon as an exclusive. Currently, I can check real quick. The last time that I looked this up, it was still what? Big Bad Toy Store is not available. Uh-oh. They went
shut down the site.
Yeah, they went out of there. It is. Whew, thank the maker, because these are things that people want to know. Mezco Wolverine. First time on the internet, right? Yeah, so it is currently still available for $95. So that's like a $10 increase.
Yeah.
From the initial $85. The one thing that they had going on with this is it's going to be fourth quarter of this year. So that's just going to be adding another figure onto the pile if you're worried about winter and it's coming. Do you like having the option for another option for Mezco exclusives?
Look, in my opinion, you can never have too many options as far as when it comes to these exclusives. And, we talk a lot about wallets and budgets and things like that. It's kind of nice when you just pick up something like this, and that's just a pre-order, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you can just put a deposit down now, and when things are once you've recovered from SDCC fully, hopefully it'll rise, and then there you go.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what kind of like deal they have, or if Big Bad Toy Store just buys a bunch of them and then
Yeah,
they just have them in stock to their store. But it's cool, especially if you don't, because we hit that block where there was a bunch of stuff to buy. And I know a lot of people weren't able to do. They were talking about, oh, I'd have to choose one or two of these, but it's a nice
yeah.
little option. And I think, let me see, to be sure, don't want to say, yeah. So it's 950. You would have to pay for a non-refundable deposit. Oh, that's showing up. Look at that. So yeah, 950. You had to pay for, and then it comes out. So I mean, it gives you another option. And I know it doesn't cure everything. I know a couple people were disappointed that they couldn't get the Void Cadet because that was only there, but you never know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, do you think the markup is collector friendly? I don't think it's that bad.
$10. Right, that's
Yeah.
people were selling those codes for that much.
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
download codes. And $10. I mean, that's not, and if you think of it this way, I mean, it's $10, and then you can turn and get it shipped for $4 from them.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's that's
Yeah.
that's nothing.
Yeah. And I mean, especially because all this stuff was like buy it now. So if you didn't have the money,
Yeah,
it's cool. I like options, so it's always cool. So I wish they would offer it up front. It would help people not in the US. Offer it up front. Do you mean like what do you mean offer it up front? I'm just trying to understand. Monty.
maybe he means if he knew ahead of time that you could get it from Big Bad.
Oh yeah, yeah. As opposed to like paying aftermarket or
Yeah,
yeah, no, yeah, that makes sense. It would be cool. Yeah. Some people were kind of wondering. I know people were holding out that they were gonna do the other ones too on Big Bad, but you never know. No, makes sense. Perfect sense. That's it for that. And then Return of the Mac. So
oh my God.
I know, right? What is it? Same time it goes up. Yeah. Yeah. Like if they did it simultaneously, you can do it like they've done with some of the other ones. Makes sense, Monty.
Yeah.
So Astrobots. I don't know if you're familiar with this line. Are you, CC? No.
No, I was going to ask you what this was from.
So this is
You said
Astrobots.
Astrobots.
Astrobots, yeah. This is a toy line, and these are very, very articulated. You're not going to get an idea from here, but this is the new Astrobot that they're going to be coming out with. This is the this is the A07 Hyperion. In case you needed another mech suit to fight with your Vortex suit. Now looking at this thing, you're like, it's not that big. I like this how they did this with the arms.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that Avatar kind of thing. So this is a 6-inch figure, like as far as like model wise.
Yeah.
At the end, you'll get to see it all show up through there because this thing's pretty big. Like I said, these have great articulation. But so this is the one that they came out with before him,
Yeah.
Apollo. And they've done a couple other different versions. I have her too. She's cool, but they're really good figures. But these, as you can tell, are twice as big.
Yeah.
Same thing with that. I was like, holy shit, look at these things. They're just getting bigger. Almost seems like everybody's doing mech stuff, and it's like you have big Transformer wars. But it kind of gives you an idea. These were
What in
these
the world is
were
that big thing in the back?
oh that's a
That was
that's a trans
huge. What is
that's
that?
a transformer. That's a
Oh,
transformer.
okay.
I
I'm
think
like,
they just
holy
had that shit.
cow.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're just doing it for scale, but these are huge, man. Like this figure, the Apollo, I think it's like 6, 7 inches, depending on how straight you stand it and everything. So you're
Yeah.
getting an idea. That's almost double the size. So, but yeah, these were shown at what was it, Transformer Con? I think in July the 15th.
Mm.
So, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting. If you just wanted somebody to fight, Check right. Let's see. Nothing
Told you, I
much.
think some of those Joy Toy mechs would scale really well.
Yeah, they would. And I've seen some people just mixing in line. I haven't seen
Yeah,
anybody do a side by side yet, though.
yeah.
So, take the banner down. What was it? Here we go. Oh, so Hasbro all your money. We're safe. So this just went up for pre-order, and it's just showing up in everybody's. All these figures are just showing up.
Yeah.
I saw this. This is by T1 Toy, and they said that new stock was in, and they're going to start shipping this out next week. And this is that the tunnel rat. I figured you want to know about that.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want to
Yes.
jump on earlier, this guy's got it, and he's going to ship it out. Otherwise, it comes out. What is it? October, November, but they just pre-ordered stuff and it's already dropping. So it's like more and more
Crazy,
and
isn't it?
more. I think so. Yeah, like Tunnel Rat, Firefly, the Crimson Viper. There's Low Light. Yes, Grunt. He's in there, and then you got the Desert Eye Commando, Snake Eyes. I saw somebody else had that too. So
I think I pre-ordered 4 out of those 6. I think.
4 of them.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Yeah, I think I grabbed them all. Yeah, might have to reevaluate that next year. And just when you thought that Hasbro wasn't done, I'll give you a double blow here. And these went up for pre-order today at 1 o'clock at the WandaVision. So you got Agatha, and I put this in there for you, Nick Fury.
Got to pick that one up just out of obligation.
Yeah, I think he's on.
Can't
He's
leave my
on
brother
right
Sam
now.
behind.
Mm-hmm. Talios. Man, what's her name? I forgot. It's like a Yelena or something like that. Yelena Belova or something like that. I think that's her. Mr. Clean. Gamora. This is from the. I think it's from the What If. It's right there, page. And then you had the What If. What's it? Looks like Ant-Man.
Is that like What If season 2 or something?
I don't know.
I don't remember them from that first season of What If.
I don't either. I know they're doing season 2.
Spoiler.
I know. Boom. Because once you combine all these, they turn into Calvin.
Now, I remember him from season 1 of What If. Right, that's Steven Rogers. That was the Hydra Stomper.
Yeah, I remember in the green one. I don't remember this version of it, but
Oh, you're right.
But
That's not the Hydra Stomper, is it?
well, this is the Hydra Stomper, but I don't remember. I thought it was green. That's what I remember, but maybe this is all part of the new stuff. Maybe the chat.
Yeah, because I sure don't remember Gamora as Thanos, if you will.
Yeah, I remember Thanos being in that one episode. Maybe this is season 2. Shows my ignorance of Marvel Legends, but then again, that helps me because I don't have to spend a bunch of money.
Look at the legs on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You get to pick 2. Pick 2. Pick 2.
I got to go with Sam.
Sam. Yeah.
Sam's a must have.
I
kind of like the big Steve Rogers, if you will.
Yeah, I do too. This looks cool. I do like this too because he has removable hands and a head, and it has the actors. And I was thinking, it's just another body, a different body. So I was thinking about picking it up. But other than that, I don't know about this. Maybe it'll go with Daredevil for Mezco.
Looks a little small, doesn't he? I mean, it's hard to tell from there, but
man, I saw him at the con. He lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked pretty fit. I was like, I wonder if this is kind of what the look that they're trying to go for with Daredevil Reborn, but yeah. Sam and maybe Kingpin. Yeah. Okay. All right, and then I got our main topic. Where are we at? 30 minutes. This is going to be done in an hour. Now, before we start, we do have to, or not you, we, I think I do. Let me make sure I pull this down the way it's supposed to go, right? Boom. Somebody's listening to audio and going, what's that pervert talking about? Oh, here we go. Look at that. Goliath, and it's supposed to be season 2. Thank you. Thank you, Monty. See, we were right in our assessment. So here we go. So main topic tonight, self-care versus self-control. Now, this topic was brought up because I saw a post in the group and I was like, man, I got to talk about this because when I saw it, I don't get triggered by anything, but when I saw it, I go, this is actually very interesting. Now, I think we've all seen this throughout our collecting journey. You'll see a post where somebody says, hey, I have decided to get out of collecting because of my significant other. And before I go on with this, I want to make it very clear that I understand everybody's situation is completely different. There might be some stuff that we don't know about this person. And I am specifically not talking about this person or anybody else that's made this kind of post. It's mainly about the subject matter. All right? Good disclaimer, good disclaimer. So, and I'm not bringing this up to like punch down on them or anything like that. I'm just bringing it up, like I said, as a reference point. So in summary, what this post was is a gentleman got on and said, hey, there's something that happened in my family. What I need to do is I'm going to sell my whole collection and I'm getting out of collecting. We've all seen this before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what the summary of the post was. And now, and like I said before, I understand that there's circumstances that we don't know about and be completely different. But I wanted to get your knee-jerk reaction to that, like when you see something like that. What do you think?
Yeah, to me, I think we've all kind of been there at some point in our collecting where we've considered potentially, giving it up, or does it continue to be worth it? Is it still fun? Does it cause problems?
Yeah.
I think everybody's significant other, one way or the other, plays a role in it. I think sometimes everybody always wants to look at us collectors and just assume that we're all, single virgins. But in actuality, I don't think many of us are. As nerdy as some of us may be, we all seem to have managed to find, somebody that will accept us for who we are.
Yeah.
And I suppose maybe that plays a lot into it. That if the collector is who you are, really finding somebody that can, accept you for that could be a challenge.
Yeah. My initial, and some of this is personal, but my initial knee-jerk reaction when I saw it was like, oh man, that just sucks, bro. I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking about certain things. You're like, oh, this probably, is it like gambling, or is it gotten to the point where it's too much of an excess or something like that? But that's why I was like, no, let me back it up, and start thinking about some stuff. And I was like, when I talked to CC, what would I ask him? I go, well, obviously we're in collecting, and that's how you treat yourself, right? You're like, I buy the things that I want to buy, right?
Yeah.
And so then I started also thinking about it, and I was like, well, how do you keep those things kind of in check? Because you are with somebody.
Yeah.
Most of us are, right? And
Yeah.
so I was like,
believe it or not.
I was like, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, most of the collectors I know, they have like girlfriends or something like that. So there's got to be a factor, especially if you're living with them.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I was thinking, I was like, do you think that, is there a compromise in that kind of situation?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there is? Like if somebody came up to you and said, hey, no, let's rewind. Let's say somebody came up to you and they said, hey, it's either this stuff or it's me.
Yeah.
Is it an automatic decision made? Is it like, I guess it also depends on what kind of relationship you're up with, like a girlfriend, or if it's a wife, what the relationship is like.
Right. Yeah, it's a tough one, man, because it almost seems like, there's of course obviously scenarios to be played with, right? Like I can imagine if you're like in a new relationship and she maybe you bring her to the house for the first time, and she gets a chance to check out the man cave, and she's like, I'm not going to have room for my stuff. It's either going to be me or this stuff.
Yeah.
It would probably be my stuff right at that point. I'm not gonna get rid of something that I've been accumulating for years in order for something that I've just gotten to know for a few weeks. I would hope that if it was somebody that had been in a relationship with for a long time, that this was something that wouldn't just blindside me all of a sudden. And if it did change like that, then I'd have to almost wonder, why? Why all of a sudden is there an ultimatum? Did the spending get out of control? Did I start ignoring her? What would it be to lead up to that for it to be just a drastic thing? Because maybe this is just me, but I would almost think that if I was given an ultimatum and we had been together for a while, I would probably try to give up the collecting. But then you'd have to wonder, would I spend the rest of the time that we spent together resenting her for, giving my things away?
Yeah.
Right. Which and then your relationship is doomed. Because every time I look at you, I'm thinking, man, I used to have 100 Mezcos. now I just got you. It would be a difficult decision to make, and not something that it wouldn't be knee jerk. It really wouldn't.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't, because collecting is part of who I am. Really, right?
Yeah.
Where are you at on
it? So this one hits a little bit personal for me because I got lucky, and when I started dating Ann, I was lightly collecting. You know what I mean? Like it was a couple of figures here and there. Truth be told, I didn't have a lot of storage space. I had a 1-bedroom, and so that stuff went under my bed. I remember she asked me once. Well, I had to move those up to the top. You don't want any mistakes, reaching underneath and go, what's this? That kind of stuff. I wasn't hiding it, but I didn't have any place where I threw it in the bed. I remember one time she looked under my bed. She goes, what is all this? I go, oh, this is collecting stuff that I'm doing. I wasn't embarrassed about it at all because it was just me.
Yeah.
And so, but then I remember when it moved, I started gaining more stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the good thing about it for me was that she grew with me with the collection as the collection grew.
Yeah.
I do wonder sometimes, like now, if I were to bring her to the house and we started dating and she saw, would she, would we be dating? Yeah. Will we be dating? Like, because when you see it, it's like, wow, that's a lot, but she's conditioned to see it now. So
yeah.
I always wonder about that, like collecting habits and everything like that. But man, I tell you what, a lot of this stuff hits personally, like you said, because I don't think that I could deal with an ultimatum.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, a lot of variables. Let's say it's cutting into the mortgage. If she said, "Hey, you're spending all this stuff, and it's taking out of food out of the kitchen, or it's taking the car, we can't pay for the car to go anywhere, or we're not going to have a roof over our head," I get it.
Yeah.
But I would have that same kind of thought process about the fact that, wait a minute, I'm doing something that makes me happy, and you're telling me you don't want me to do that.
Yeah.
That's just me, though. That's not any of these other people.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I make that clear. So it's like, so I got a personal story I'll share with you. So there's actually 2 relationships like this. So I was in a relationship with these 2 girls, and it came down to the same thing. And this is funny because you'll resonate with this because you understand with all the jokes that we make about this. So my girlfriend came up to me at the time and she said, "Hey, you play too much PlayStation. You're always on it." And I'm thinking, what do you mean? Well, you're always on it. Now, mind you, I was active duty. I was going to college full time.
Yeah.
And I was watching her kids, not mine. And I would play at night. And so she's like, you know what? It's decision time. It's either the PlayStation or it's us.
Oh boy.
And I was like, oh crap. What do I do?
You still got that PlayStation, don't you?
No. I got, you know what happened? I got rid of it.
Yeah?
I got rid of it. I was like, you know what? Sorry. I didn't. It didn't click with me at first, but it was that
Mm-hmm.
ultimatum. So that some of this stuff, like I said, it's personal for me. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? You're absolutely right. So what do? I get rid of I get rid of the PlayStation. I get rid of the games, and then a couple months down the later, we break up.
Yeah.
And like you said, I had this resentment. I'm like, man, I was doing something I liked. Not
Yep.
like I couldn't do it because what did I do after we broke up? I went out, I bought one. I bought my games back and I did like a 4 week bender.
Yeah.
It's just like, I was just like, "Ah." And I was just doing it, but I had resentment. I was like,
Yeah.
man, this person may give something that I really enjoy, but then I'm like, hey, I'm in a better place. It's cool. I can do it all right now.
Yeah.
But then what happens? What happens?
Yeah.
She calls. Hey, what are you doing? They always come back.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, it's checking up and stuff. Like we start talking, we start working things out, stuff like that. And she comes back over to visit. And she's looking around and she's like, oh, you weren't lying. You got rid of the PlayStation. I was like, nah, I didn't. I was like, I bought a new one. It's in the bed. I said, but
Yeah.
I said, but the thing is I only use it for like Netflix. And she didn't believe me. She watched me for like a couple weeks and see that I wasn't playing or anything like that. Had no desire to do it, stuff like that.
Yeah.
With the same thing, it was like, and then later on, it didn't work out. But there was always that ultimatum,
Yeah.
and that's what stuck with me. That was my life lesson from that. I was like, I don't. I know that there's different things that are involved. Like I said, some of these variables, but I don't know how anybody could sit there and give somebody an ultimatum if they knew that it was making them happy, unless it was directly and severely impacting the household.
Yeah.
I never understood, but you've seen guys, they go through that in different other situations too, right? Do this or it's over.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I don't do ultimatums. No, I don't do that shit.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it is good, I think, sometimes at times to have someone that's willing to help you if you do have a lack of self-control to kind of say, hey, you know what, this is getting out of hand. You're spending too much time doing this instead of, you're missing your kids' games because you're downstairs, polishing off whatever, whatever it is.
yeah,
So, you don't want just a yes person, I think to be your significant other, because sometimes we do need to be protective of ourselves. But
right.
I think at the same time, like you said, for you to stop somebody from doing something that makes you happy, then you almost start wondering, what the motivation is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when
Yeah.
you're with someone, that's kind of the whole idea is, as long as you're doing what makes you happy and no one's getting hurt, like
Mm-hmm.
the house is still being provided for, then it should be okay. We should. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember when I first started collecting, we used to do a lot of those things together. I mean, I remember us. I was real heavy into the Marvel Legends back then, so we middle of the night and we're going to Walgreens, just seeing what's in sections. That was almost like a date night, at
Yeah.
times, if you will. Just
Yeah.
go out middle of the night, hopping from Walgreens to Walgreens, and grabbing a bite to eat. So it was a fun kind of a bonding thing in the beginning, I think, for both of us.
Yeah. I think it helps if you have somebody that's supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know the whole thing with going to SDCC. I was, with everything that happened with her, I was worried, and that was kind of like an ultimatum, but not by her. It was like, what are you gonna do? And I
Yeah,
had my mind already, but that even though that wasn't put on me, I already had my mind made up. I was like, you know what? And we talked about it. I was like, yeah, I'll see what happens, but if not, no, because you make a
yeah,
responsible decision because you know what's all involved with it. But that's a decision. I was like, hey, that's easy to figure out. But yeah, what did the fracture say? He's like, and I think it does help. Like if you have a support system.
yeah,
Like I've sat here at this table, even now, like the show or anything else. I've sat here. She's very supportive, and so I think that really helps. But I'm also conscientious of knowing that if if I needed to compromise about something, I would do it.
mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like you can't say, oh, nobody's gonna give me ultimatum stuff like that. At least I'm conscientious enough to know that okay, if there's a bunch of shit on the table over there, and she has guests. Paige,
Yeah,
you got to clean up that stuff before the guests get here, and you
yeah,
can't have boxes everywhere. But I think that's where the consideration part comes into. But and that's why it would be a little bit harder for me to somebody say, "Yeah, get rid of this shit, or I'm gone." I'm like, "You're gone."
Yeah.
I don't think you can put ultimatum on somebody if it's reasonable. So
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
so what's something that oh, Paul said something. What's something that we talked about, like the problem of it? What's something that would be help you to get out of that? Because obviously it is, no matter what, like those variables are going to come into play. What are some things that you know you could probably think of that would help not get to that point? Did you truly understand?
Well, I guess that's probably where it comes into the self-control part of it, I think, right? When to your point, when you start like having like boxes everywhere to where it's an inconvenience for everyone.
Yeah.
Now you got to be, mindful of her too. If she's got to step over and around, what the things that you're buying because there's just no space, you got to be understanding of that, right? You got to be mindful of it. We talk all the time how space is finite. So if you're sharing space with someone, you got to be respectful of them as well. And that's why I could see somebody giving me the ultimatum and saying, hey, you know what? You got too much. Some of it's got to go, or we got to make room, or we got to do something with some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But just to like say, hey, it's over, like you can't buy any more. You're done. And what you got to get rid of. That would be hard to do. But like I could really see it when you get to those point where, we've seen some of those collections, right? We share pictures sometimes all the time where these guys have, from floor to ceiling, just bam, boxes, stacked in there tight. So I could see, not wanting to get to that point because it's one thing for us to be able to live with it, but then to expect somebody else to just have to deal with it because of us, that's a little unfair too.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned the variable. I'm not saying that this person's like absolved of anything that's like they're totally innocent and they were just playing with two figures. I mean, I know that there's probably more involved and everybody's situation is different. But like you said, that's part of the compromise. I don't think that that's bad at all. I think communication is a huge part of it. I mean, Paul even said like, he said it's a mutual understanding and respect. That's a huge one too. Like, I think in the back of your mind, if you're if there was a bunch of boxes blocking your front door, I think you're wrong.
Yeah.
So like you have to be respectful of that other person if giving them their space, like you said too. But but that's where the compromise is. I think ultimatum would be different than a compromise. Hey, you do have too much stuff. Can you kind of clean that shit up or move it off to the side? Yes, babe, you'll do. We're all like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Some of the girls I was dating in Japan and Hong Kong had more figures than I did. How much of a turn on would that be? You go in, just, excuse me, my apartment's a mess. You're like, it's cool. You get in there and you're like, oh god, yes.
Yeah.
Man,
like I found the one. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, wait a minute, that's not even out yet. How'd you get that? You're just hanging out.
Right.
You gotta make that connection, man. Like some of those, like I know a guy. He's in our group. His wife collects, and she steamrolls him with collecting. He collects.
Yeah.
But she's more into it than he is, and it works. It works for them.
Yeah.
Oof, yeah. It's
Does your significant other collect anything at all?
Yeah, shoes, makeup.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, camera equipment. But
okay.
I have the no touch rule on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like she's like, no, don't touch that stuff. Don't touch that. So, but yeah, like shoes and just girl stuff. But,
mine kind of started her own collection, believe it or not. So she's into the anything Grogu.
Oh man,
she really digs that stuff. And then it was a shock to me when I found it out about her, but she actually really loves Sailor Moon.
Oh wow!
So from time to time, if I come across Sailor Moon figures or whatever, I'll pick that stuff up for her, and she loves it. So she's got some of the statues that I bought her, and some of the more expensive. I think those might have been Figuarts figures, I think. And so I learned that it's easier to bring your own toy in when you have one for her too.
I was gonna say that's a
Just a little
nice
trick for
little.
you fellas out there. Just, don't
Mhm.
don't walk in with just one bag. Walk in with two. You're like, hey, look what I got you, and look what I got me too. It works
It's
great.
it is. It's the WD-40 of the relationship. It's just
It
go
works
through
great.
that shit. Yeah. And so compromising communication.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't. I'm not getting on to that person or anybody else that does make those posts. I genuinely feel bad because you. It's almost like you're looking at it and you go, "Oh, another one bites the dust." You feel bad for them
Yeah.
because some of those guys, you can see how happy it makes them, and
Yeah.
oof, God, I hate seeing those posts. But,
Yeah. And kind of like you with the video games. Like anytime you give up something that you find joy in,
hmm
there's going to be some resentment afterwards.
yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on the person that you're with, and like you said, are you taking away more time from them? I would try to find, like me, I try to really think about that stuff. I was trying to find time to do it when it wouldn't impede on family. So
Yeah.
again, I'm working and I'm going to school, and so I would get all my stuff done, and then I would play for a couple hours at night.
Yeah.
Like 10, 12 o'clock. And then it got to the point where it's like you're playing all night. And I'm like, what are you? I was like, I gotta go to work. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But it was something like it was just never. That's what I mean about the part about taking away something that you enjoy. Because if you're still trying to find ways to work within that system, and it's still giving you guilt and grief about it, it's like no, you don't want to see me happy doing something that I enjoy. That's the part about it. If Anne would have come up to me like right now and she said something like, "Oh, you know what? This is just too much. You got too much over here. You got too much over there. You need to clean it up." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I need to do that." Because that's that compromising.
Yeah.
But and I would never do that to her too. This is like cocaine strippers and stuff like that. I get it, but
Yeah.
to come into somebody's, when and say, "Hey, you get rid of this, this, and this, and this," I just don't. Like I said, variables, I get it, but I don't
Yeah.
I don't think somebody should come in there and tell you should be
Yeah.
responsible enough to know. Anyway, we'll beat that one down. All right. Deep topic out of the way. You gotta purge it, man. You gotta purge it. Otherwise, you just
Yeah.
let it fester. So we got pitch meeting. Hear me out on this one, right? So pitch meeting. Knock them out the blocks, right? So I know. And what was the question I had for you for this? Hold on a second. All right. It all gets in there. So, so some people love it, some people hate it, but I think we can all agree that companies put a lot of work into and money into their packaging, right?
Yeah.
And most of
Box
the
art.
time, yeah, box art, man. And most of the time, it's just thrown away, which sort of kills me.
Yes.
It, you see some of this stuff. Even I like with some of the Marvel Legends stuff. I don't keep any of those boxes now. I just throw them away,
Yeah.
and I think it's twofold. Money is poured into the artist, and I'm not trying to take jobs away from artists,
Yeah.
but money is poured in for them to be able to commission to do this fantastic artwork, and we just look at it and go, "That's great," and we throw it away. Some people are car, but I think we all can agree a majority of people, because of the space and stuff like that, have been
Yeah.
throwing it away, right?
Yeah.
So I had two ideas. I wanted to run by you because, like I said, everybody loves boxing, right? Everybody loves it, right?
I'm a sucker for a good box.
I know. I am too. I'm thinking about boxing. So you got your box. You got your box, and you're like, man, look at this artwork. It's so no, wrong one. Sorry, my fault. All right. So you got your box art, right?
Yeah.
Got your box art. You're like, man, this looks really good. I just don't have the space for this stuff. So what do I do? And I was thinking to myself, how could you do this? Because most of these things you could take out like this, right? So you take your box, and most of these, product sheet, you need that for later. I didn't cut it. But most of this stuff breaks down, right?
Yeah.
Most people just take it and they throw it away. So I was thinking, what happens if you have this and it goes flat? Right?
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing is you got this plastic. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So essentially, you can keep this artwork and stuff like that, but you don't have anything that you could put your stuff in unless it's a bag. So what I was thinking, hear me out. What if they made this like one of those pop-up books, and you made it out of paper, and it was foldable, but it still held all the tray of accessories that you had? You think it would work? Still might be secure. You like
Yeah.
use maybe some like double ply cardboard, you know?
Yeah.
That's if you wanted the box. But at least that way you'd be collecting boxes and you're not taking up a bunch of space. Because look at that's thin, right? Am I off on this? Probably off, am I? No?
Now you've got me regretting the boxes that I have thrown away. Like, why didn't I just fold it down and put them in a binder or something? I've thrown away some incredible boxes over the years just because I didn't have the space.
Yeah, this has like great artwork on it, man.
Yeah.
Am I over there? Okay, so this has great artwork, right?
Yeah.
Really great artwork. I like it, and I'll keep it. Obviously, I'll just make space and stuff like that. But there's collectors that don't have the space for it. Where's my mouse? I was trying to get. As it said, let's say pitch to create art that can be used with your figure, like extreme sets. But you know what? That's something too. The diorama. What if the diorama is the box?
Huh.
I mean, I don't know how well that works. Like the art, maybe the inside. I don't know. I just feel bad sometimes about throwing my box. Some of that stuff I don't want to throw away, but I understand like the inside of it is used to house the figure and the accessories. That was the
Yeah.
biggest thing. How do you get rid of that, or how do you condense that?
Yeah. You know, some of those Mythic Legions, the figura obscura, the way they've kind of started, you know, you get kind of that backdrop now that comes with the box. That way it's kind of separate. I love the way they do that.
Yeah.
Even if you don't keep all of the packaging, you know, you keep part of the packaging, which gives you a lot of that artwork still on the outside. It's really nice.
And those boxes break down the same way. Like that's what I've been doing with those is I'll take the backdrop and that folds flat.
Yep.
You know, hey, that's an idea too. Well, the accessories are a little bit smaller, aren't they? Like with hands and everything.
Yeah.
I remember they use twisty ties for those. Like they'll put the figure in there, twisty tie it down.
Yeah.
I can't remember offhand. How do they store the smaller? Even if it was encased in like a plastic bubble that's glued onto there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking. I was like, man, it would be cool because you do run out of space, and some of these sets are so big. And disclaimer, really quick, I know that there's other things that people offer, like tins. Like, what would you do with Mr. Freeze, or some of these bigger sets, like the Vortex suit or something like that. I don't know if maybe that would work in there too.
That's going to be a big box to break down. That's not a
Have you
picture of
seen
that box.
It's
That box is enormous. Yeah.
Yeah. Or reduce,
Enormous.
reuse, recycle in boxes impossible. Yeah, that's just I like the boxes, but I gotten to a point like right now, like low priority boxes for me are like the shoebox ones. Like I have a bunch of the Black Skull Death Brigade and the Ninjas.
Yeah.
I kept all that stuff, but I just put them all in a box and I threw them in the attic. But then, how long is that gonna, how long is that gonna take?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I love the idea of having a box that you just fold down flat. And if you could come out with a way to where you could compress the compartments or whatever for the accessories as well, some type of a foldable, that'd be genius. Genius. I love it.
You know what I just thought? I opened this up today. Classifieds. Classifieds will put that utility box in there, and they'll just put it in a paper, your accessories.
Yeah.
I mean, because you'd be throwing, I mean, you put a bag in there, you throw your bag in there anyway, right? But your accessories you would throw in your plastic bag, and then that classify. I wish I had it with me. You know that utility box that they put in there? That's easily folded down.
Mm-hmm.
So you put the accessories or whatever you have inside those little paper. I don't know. Maybe it's too cheap. Maybe it would feel too cheap to some people, but I was just thinking about it.
Could it be? Could you imagine it being a turnoff for you as a collector? Would you think?
No, because I use those things. I know my collecting is not what everybody else is doing, but everybody
Yeah.
seems to either be displaying their stuff. There's, men on card people, but they're either displaying their stuff or they put them in these plastic container compartments.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many posts I see about people just throwing away boxes. I guess it depends on if you want to keep the box. I'd want to keep this. I like this box, man. I
Yeah.
love the artwork. I love the artwork. Shoe
Yeah.
boxes, probably not, but some of those things have some really good artwork on them.
A
So,
lot of the Mezco stuff does. I haven't come across too many boxes of theirs that wasn't really, really nice.
yeah,
Some of them a little more simple, but I mean, a lot of these things are really nice. I mean, I get the Batman box in here. This is a classic, kind of a classic design, but it's still just a really nice box to just be thrown away.
yeah. Maybe you take it and it folds down. I'm joking about it. You'd be collecting boxes like this, but it's not the thing. But
Yeah.
and then I started thinking about cost too. I was
Yeah.
like, what would cost? Would you be okay if the artwork was stripped off? If that saved money at all? Do you think?
I like boxes. Is that weird? I
Mm-mm.
really like the box art. Like this eel today, I haven't even opened him up yet. I just keep looking at the box.
Mm-hmm.
I love the classified box art. Like it's really, really good.
Yeah.
The only thing that I really wish that they would change with this is, well, I mean, it's kind of late to start now, but I don't know why we didn't get file cards like they do on those the retro
the
ones that
retro line?
you get the card back ones.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have a file card on the back. It would have been awesome.
When you scan the QR code, does
I
that
did.
bring? I've never scanned it. Does it take you to a classified website where it has the file card on it virtually or no?
No, it takes you just to Shop Now Hasbro. I actually just did it a second ago because I didn't. Have they always put that QR code on there? I just happened to notice it today. I don't know how long that's been.
Yeah, they changed that box. It looks, it's better.
The box
But
is
they
real
do
nice.
stuff. Yeah,
And
I
it takes you
feel.
to Hasbro is where it takes you to.
Yeah, I feel guilty, man. I feel guilty. I don't want to throw that stuff away. Not because it's. I can deal with some of the other ones, like the Rumble Society ones, where they just maybe. I love the aesthetics of it because it has the gold label on
Yeah.
it, and you
Yeah.
got the sticker. But other than that, like once you start collecting a bunch of Kriegs, it's like, yeah, these are all the same boxes. Nothing against them. I like the
Yeah.
box, but it's as far as like if you had something visual up, I
Yeah.
really miss the older stuff. They used to have the artwork inside of it, and it used to be a flap. But this
Yeah.
doesn't bother me. This is a nice wraparound, and
Yeah.
it looks great. Point is, I respect the artist and I respect the effort that goes into it. That's why I don't want to throw it away. And that's why I was thinking, oh, what can you do? Because
Yeah.
eventually, Minnie's went through this, didn't she? She was like, I got a purge. And she just threw
Yeah.
all away her boxes. I think Go Figure did the same thing. He was doing videos on it, throwing away boxes.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think packaging adds to the premium of the line. Yes, very, very much agree. Paul. It's hard to decide what's worth throwing away. Also, if you decide to sell your figures, to me, it lowers the value of the figure without the box. That was another reason why I brought it up, because I've seen a lot of people selling stuff, but they don't have the box.
Who was it that was taking the Rumble Society boxes and making the little dials out of them? Do you remember that?
The dials.
Yeah, he was literally taking those magnetic boxes, he did. Why am I drawing a blank? Oh my God, I can't. I'm drawing a blank on his name. The underwater guy.
Nemo?
Not Nemo.
He said Boba. Boba was doing it?
Boba was doing
doubt it.
those. Yeah, it was just he literally took those boxes and then he had built like a little diorama inside, so you could take pictures inside the box.
I know
Once
Hazard's.
again, it was kind of a brilliant use of the box.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know
see,
Hazard's. Oh, there he is. Guilty as charged. I know Hazard
Baron
Squad.
Bins. That was the one. I can't even think of his name.
I gotta
He
look up
did
that
one for
shot.
Baron Bins, and I want to think I saw him do two.
I know he's
Baron
done
Bins. He put
like,
on there.
yeah. Man, you gotta send me that because I can't remember it. I know Hazard
This is a
Squad
brilliant idea.
Commander has had that diorama inside. That's a perfect example of. I thought I thought for sure that they were gonna like when they did the rest of the squad. Maybe it's still too early. Maybe they are gonna do it. I thought that that was gonna be an ongoing thing. Like you would take those pieces and boxes, and it would make one big, large Hazard Squad diorama. They were just gonna do it for each character. I thought that would have been cool because I was like, oh,
Yeah,
look, this is where they're going with it. But that's a perfect example of what we're talking about, like utilizing the whole thing. And I know it's more work for them, but
yeah.
it needed more boxes. He used the standard Rumble Society boxes to make a backdrop. Man, there's a lot of guys that are really creative
It's
with that kind of stuff.
repurposing, right? That's what it's all about. We don't have to throw it away and
Yeah,
repurpose it.
yeah. I've never been. I had one extreme set, and I couldn't get it to work because there's too much glare. It looked too flat. I didn't. For me, I just didn't. I couldn't get it. But I've seen people use
Yeah,
it farther back, and it looks great. But
yeah.
you know, I don't know. Just a picture. Just a picture to see what
Would you
happens. I
buy
don't know.
prints of like some of the famous box art, like or maybe like favorite box art?
Like
Would you do
like
that?
uh like NT NFTs.
Oh, I don't
Would
even
I
want to.
buy NFTs of
Yeah.
boxes? No.
Don't give him any ideas, man.
Uh,
That's gonna be the next thing. Watch. Oh, don't worry. You throw your box away, you can save it as an NFT.
I thought, what if they
Look at it
stripped it
digitally.
down? What if they stripped it down? Like you know how like I got what was it? They were selling the Hydra. Hasbro was just doing really inexpensive packaging. They send you the Hydra Trooper, and it was just in a box, and it was just in that paper, and it had the accessories in there. I thought that
Yeah,
was great because it kind of lowered the price point a little bit,
yeah.
but it also was a space saver and stuff. I thought that that was fine. I don't know, man. To me, there's sometimes I love artwork, but there's sometimes I'm thinking, you know what? I'd be okay with just a brown box, and I just open it and take the figure out, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because
I suppose the lack of box art would probably make the decision for me as far as whether or not I needed to keep it.
yeah,
So maybe that'd be part of that self-control thing where the company could do me a favor and make the box more easily discardable. Like, hey, guy, look, this is made to be thrown away. I might be a little easier to separate from it because
yeah.
I've got a lot of stuff downstairs that's got some beautiful packaging, and like you said, I can't bring myself to just throw it away.
Yeah, I feel
It's
like
nice.
artists work on that stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
that's that's what I feel. It's almost like you're taking some of that stuff, and they've gotten a lot better.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like before, it was like graphics, black. You know, it was a black or something like that, and it had a couple logo patches on it, maybe a picture on the back. They got guys drawing like art pieces on these now. I do. I feel bad throwing that stuff away.
yeah.
I paid for it, but they put a lot of work in it. I don't know if they disrespect the art. But it's like Paul said. He was like, what did he say earlier about it? He said, yeah, like throwing away the box, like lowering the value. But yeah, that's it. I think it's a
Yeah.
premium. It's packaging that adds to the premium of the line. I totally agree with that.
You haven't really
So
bought too many of the like third-party import figures, have you?
no, there's just something about it. I don't like. They never. Some of them do, but they don't ever seem to match up as far as like height or
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
doesn't
Sometimes it
match up.
scales off. Yeah.
Or I've heard a lot of QC issues kind of stuff, and it's just I don't even want to get wrapped up in it. And
Yeah.
then I don't know about the return policy. Most of the
One
time,
of the things I've noticed with some of those companies, and I don't know if they do it just to save costs or whatever, but a lot of them have very compact boxes, like Ink Blot, I think was the name that they call that figure. It was Rorschach, or they call him Ink Blot.
yeah,
Like that box, it's a 6-inch figure. That box may have been 8 inches long and maybe 4 inches deep. Like
yeah,
all of the accessories and everything was very compact, and it was kind of a nice little compact box. I loved that package. I loved it.
Yeah.
I've got a couple other ones they're very similar. It was about an 8x4 box.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about being able to really maximize and save space and still hold on to your box.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's helpful for not just, I guess, how long you've been collecting a line, but then also how many lines you do collect, because it just helps with the space part of it. But even Mezco's gotten a lot better. I remember that was always a subject on the show. Was I like the bigger boxes, but it just seemed like a lot of space waste, and I don't know how that affects their, project, the budget for the project, if that, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I like getting things like this that are smaller.
The exclusive size boxes I think are great. They're an ideal size. The thin, compact. I do like these.
Yeah, and you can pack it in.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I was just trying to think of what could be beneficial to a collector. Obviously space, but then also them.
Yeah.
I want to keep that stuff. I don't know. You never know. Maybe one day. Maybe.
Yeah.
So that was it. That's all I really had. An hour 16. So see, MC is causing us to have an extra 45 minutes.
He's an enabler, right?
Yeah. You could say that's adding value to the show, or that's right. We'll wait for the metrics to come in to see how this pans out.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I really have, man. Do you got anything? Anything you want to talk about?
Did you get anything cool this week you want to share?
Did I get anything cool? Yeah. I showed you. I got the eels. Man, those are like gold right now, aren't they? We're selling kids for those
crazy. It's crazy. They didn't sell out real quick on the pre-order either, did they? Weren't they up for a couple days? Am I wrong? Am I misremembering?
No, usually stuff is. I don't know, man. Like I saw people getting very upset, but there's one thing about Hasbro and Joe's. They do a really good job of bringing stuff back. I don't think that there's been a figure that's come out in the last year that they haven't put back up at one time or another. Mindbender. Yeah. They put Mindbender and Serpento back up.
Yeah.
So if you're on it, you could really do it. I said no. They sold out pretty quickly. Yeah,
did they? So was it exclusive? Were the eels exclusive? Is it an Amazon exclusive? I mean, that's where I got mine from.
Yeah. I got on and I ordered. I didn't have a problem. And I ordered quite a few. So MC stands for more conversation. He does. I wonder what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that, and then I fell down the Power Rangers. You saw like the Power Ranger rabbit hole, and I got some baddies for the Green Ranger.
Did you get your Green Ranger yet?
I did, yeah. I've been waiting to kind of like just mess around because I had some of this stuff on the table.
Yeah.
That I was gonna shoot, so he's yeah. And so I had him. I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. I'm gonna do it. So I was working on something with him, and then I'll work on the other stuff. I'll work on the Green Ranger because I got Zed today, and I think I showed you the other two, like Rita and the Minotaur.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul said that they were Amazon exclusives.
Interesting.
Were they on Pulse too? I thought they were on Pulse too. I know they're.
Yeah, I think almost all the exclusives are on Pulse too for a little while.
Yeah, so.
I don't remember having a hard time when I pre-ordered these guys.
I missed the other stuff.
That must have been thanks to MC, I guess. He must have kept me up on it. I'm sure I was at work at the time.
Yeah.
I still managed to catch him.
He's good at that, man. Just sending links.
Yeah. Suppose I probably should mention that I bought 12 of them, huh?
Did you buy 12 eels?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Hindsight being 2020, I guess maybe I should have bought 12 of them, right? No, I just bought 2. That's been my cutoff is 2 now.
You have an R&B building limit now?
Yeah, I went from 3 down to 2. I'm only doing pairs now. I like 3 is what I really like, but
yeah.
running out of space for 3 of each. So I've gone I've gone down to 2.
Yeah. I told I backed out of a buy that I was supposed to do today. It was a Bandai. It was the Peter Parker, the Spider-Man. Is it the Tobey Maguire one?
Mm.
I backed out of that today, and I was like, "Yep, this is the first step. I need to find a group to sell all that Bandai stuff."
Yeah.
And then that'll save up a wing of space. Because those his tanks are coming, man.
They are coming.
And that
I can't wait to
Dragonfly.
see you get those and see what you think of it. But it looks incredible.
You didn't get one?
No, remember that was the one where I put off the Kickstarter thing. I was going to do it, and then I just forgot. And then I missed the cutoff. I forgot. I was ready. I was all ready and fired up for that one. And then life happens, and next thing I know, it was the day after, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah." So I'm like, "Oh shit!" I forgot all about it.
Yeah.
I should have just went and did it. I don't know why I put off, but I should have just went and done it.
Well, if Ann gives me an ultimatum, I'll just send you one.
when the platoon of 8 of them comes rolling in.
Yeah. How many did you get? Why do you need that many?
It does look incredible, though.
Yeah, man. When I saw it at San Diego, I was like, "Wow, this thing is really nice." It looked, and it made all of its to me look quality. It didn't look cheap at all. I mean, I didn't touch it, but it just looked like they put a lot of work into it. And then I started getting, kind of a little melancholy about it because I was sitting there thinking, man, what if they would have done the Spirits of Vengeance? And I honestly think that sometimes with some of those things, like I think people jump the gun on it.
Yeah.
You're looking at digital renders. You're looking at, when even that Dragonfly, I was like, wow, this thing's not even done yet.
Yeah.
And it looked good.
Yeah.
So
I definitely regret not doing the Hist. Definitely regret doing that one.
Yeah, well, all you gotta do is message Ann. Tell her
to put the pressure on. Ann, are you having a hard time breathing with all those boxes in the house?
Yeah. Like she told me the other day. She was like, you need to clear out the spare bedroom. She's like, my mom's coming. I'm like, all right. Yeah, so I gotta find a place for all that. Well, none of this stuff, like I was reorganizing in the vault right now. I'm trying to mix that. I'm like, I'm gonna sell this. I'll space this out. I'll move that. And I was like, I need a little bit of breathing room to move stuff around. So I just took it and I put it in the spare bedroom.
Yeah.
But now I gotta find a place for that kind of stuff. So I can hide it from my mom. She knows.
Yeah.
Well, what about you? Besides the eels, anything new?
Did I get anything outside of the eels?
Have you had time?
I've been on a classified kick lately, right? I picked up Scrap Iron last week, Shipwreck, Torpedo, and what's the other one? Oh, Copperhead.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm really thinking about 3D printing that moccasin.
Yeah, that's good. Did you get a chance to open up Scrap Iron?
No.
Man, that thing is nice.
Yeah.
Oof. It is really nice. Yeah. You should make time for that. Do you got tomorrow off? Usually, right? No?
I am. We'll have to see if the nieces are still around tomorrow, though.
Oh, yeah.
The little one has taken a liking to action figures. I've had to pry a few Mezcos out of her hands. Talk about holding your breath, man.
Mm-mm.
I think
that deserves
next
an
month.
ultimatum.
Oh man.
Really?
Yeah. She likes action figures. I'm going to have to buy her own. She's like Oscar. She's got exquisite taste. Like she seems to know to grab for the expensive ones. It's like, whoa.
So she's got like two in the head. You give her one, she's like, nah.
Yeah.
This one smells of success right here. I'm gonna take
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's good because then we'll have some time to hopefully send you some pictures, do some stuff, and we can just have playtime tomorrow. Then
Right.
we got to get MC back and do a play party and try to do one of those. But then we got to coordinate a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. What would be the next figure we got coming? We all got.
Wolverine. Did you get Wolverine? I think he did. Did you or no?
I did.
Okay,
I did.
we could do it that because I did. Well, you didn't have Void. You didn't do the suit, right? Yeah, that was. You remember that? You said no.
No, I didn't do the mech suit. Yeah.
This is just a way to make me say what's coming next, right?
What's that?
This is just a trick to make me say what's coming next, right?
Right. What's coming?
I'm trying to think. I'm waiting for them to actually update because I don't. There's some stuff that's kind of close, and I'm wondering if they're going to change dates or not. You know, because
Yeah.
so there's some stuff that came that's pretty close. Well, anyway, let
Yeah,
me
there
go.
should be some more Mezco Joes coming pretty soon, right?
Yeah, that was it's on my phone, but there's some stuff I think Gotham by Gaslight that was kind of next, and then there's a couple of other ones, but I have them all organized on my phone. The one that I'm using as a camera.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, well, we even dragged it out. Still 40 plus minutes. MC, aka more conversation, more content. So
yeah.
Yep. Well, appreciate everybody stopping by for a short one. It was good catching up with you and talking with you about this stuff, man. Thank you for always being my therapy couch.
Yeah. Great conversation, man. Great conversation, as always.
As always, man. You got anything you want to hit out with?
As always, please help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered.
Oh, we'll end on that one. Thank you, everyone, for coming out, enjoying, getting your boots on, and stepping into the deep stuff with us.
Waiters.
Yeah. Everybody's got banners and stuff like that. We want MC. Bring MC back. He'll be back.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you hanging out with us, whether you did the live or if you are checking it out on the replay or if you're just listening to it while you're taking shit. Thank you very much. Everyone have a good night. Bye-bye.